Hello, my name is Theresa Taylor, and I teach at Cape Central High School. And I am going to talk to you a little bit about paying for college. Um, it's very expensive to go to college, and if you prepare ahead of time, maybe you won't have so many student loans to pay back. So, I'm going to share my screen with you. And there. If you want a copy of this presentation, you can go ahead and um, scan that QR code there. I'll leave it up for a few minutes, and I'll also show it at the end. So if you want to scan it at the end, I'll come back to the slide so you can do that. Okay, steps for paying for college, the FAFSA, step number one. Then you have grants, scholarships, saving money, and loans. FAFSA, what is it? It's the free application for federal student aid. It is the first step to paying for college. I have the link there, or you can just Google FAFSA and it will automatically find the government website. Notice it is a .gov website because it is a government website and it is highly secure, and it is required in order to qualify for any federal grants, loans, or work study. Missouri uses this same application to consider you for Missouri grants, and some scholarships, like the A+ scholarship, requires you to fill out the FAFSA. So there is a myth that, oh, my parents make too much money. I recommend you fill it out anyway. Number one, if there is money left, they will start dispensing it to people that did not get any aid. Number two, you might be surprised. And number three, you might have a scholarship that requires it. Each FAFSA that is submitted is given a DNR number, and the scholarship may ask for that number. They also may ask for your EFC, estimated family contribution. And FAFSA, when you're finished it and submitted it, it will tell you what they calculated that they believe your parents can help pay. Remember, this is what the federal government believes, but that's called the EFC, Estimated Family Contribution. The FAFSA is free to apply. So if you go to a website and they start asking for money, you're on the wrong place. Most of these websites are legitimate. They will submit it, but they're not going to get you any more money than if you fill it out on your own. And you definitely do not want to be giving personal information out to just any website. The FAFSA, in order to be considered for any kind of aid, you must complete it every year you're in college, both undergrad, grad school, and it normally takes 30 to 60 minutes. There are exceptions. Some people, for whatever reason, totally unpredictable, end up taking way more than 60 minutes. I don't know why that is. It's unpredictable who it is. But each year you do it, it takes less time. The FAFSA, first you apply. It opens October 1st. This is a date that is widely advertised at schools. You will need an FSA ID for both you and your parents. A couple of recommendations I have. Number one, maybe you and your parents should have the same password. Makes it easier to remember. Number two, Write them down and put them someplace secure. You're going to need this ID every time you log in, every time you apply. Yes, you can have it reset, but it's a whole lot easier if you just remember it. You will need your social security number, email address, phone, and birth date right off the bat. Make sure your social security number is correct. Don't, I think I know what it is. It must be correct. If you put it in wrong, it will be a headache that you do not want to have. Also, the phone number you list on here is the phone number you are expected to call from when you call FAFSA. So that's kind of important too. Your parents' social security numbers and email addresses. You will need all the financials for you and your parents. You will need a lot of random information for your parents, such as when did they get married or when did they get divorced? When did they get remarried? That you might have to talk to your parents or have them help you, or your parents could do it all themselves if that's what they want to do. So your FAFSA IDs is going to be your sign-in. And it's also going to be how you sign your finished application. IDs to remember, or deadlines to remember. Missouri deadline is February 3rd. So if you want to qualify for any Missouri grants, you have to have it submitted by February 3rd. Colleges have deadlines. Many of them are the same as the state deadlines, but check your college. There are exceptions. Also, the federal deadline is June 30th. But if for some reason you're maybe going to start in the spring, or you decided to go to summer school at the last minute, or you missed that deadline, I would apply anyway. You just very well may get some money. So the first thing the FAFSA is going to decide is, do you qualify for grants? Grants are free money. You don't pay it back. So that's great. The Pell Grant right now is a maximum of $6,495 per year. Missouri is $2,000 per year. That money is sent directly to your college. So they will send half of it each semester and send that directly to your college. If you have been smart and got so much scholarship money that your bills are already paid, that grant money will then be forwarded to you from the college. So then scholarships. Scholarships, there's so many scholarships out there. First of all, merit scholarships. This is when your grades pay off or your talent pays off. If you get an athletic scholarship, it is considered a merit scholarship. But most merit scholarships are based on GPA and ACT scores, and they have an unlimited number available. So if you qualify for the merit scholarship, they're going to give it to you. Most of them are freshman scholarships. And if you go on a website, on any college website, it will show you what theirs are. For example, the Copper Dome, if you go to SEMO, what you look at the chart, what is your GPA, what is your ACT, where they intersect will tell you how much money you qualify for. And that is guaranteed. These are renewable, but almost all of them, in fact, I think all of them, have a GPA requirement. So when you're in college, watch that GPA, because once you lose these scholarships, they're gone. You can't get them back. And most people I talked to that lost a merit scholarship, it wasn't because they couldn't do the work. It was because they didn't. Check with your school counselors. They have a lot of information about local scholarships. Check with your employer. Chick-fil-A, Burger King, McDonald's, a lot of those have scholarships for their employees. Check with your parents' employer. A lot of times they have scholarships for the kids of employers. Then use search engines, and there's a lot of search engines out there, and they do not give the same results. So you might want to sign up for 2 or 3. I've listed my 3 favorites here: Going Merry, FastWeb, and Capex. Uh, they, they do a really good job. They ask a lot of questions, but it's in an effort to narrow that search so that you only get lists of scholarships that you would really possibly qualify for. Scholarships take a lot of work. They take a lot of time. So make sure you put in the time to get those scholarships. Now, colleges also offer what SEMO calls them endowed scholarships. Some colleges call them department scholarships. And most of them, the deadline that you have to apply to college is like the 1st of March. Whereas merit scholarships, you have to apply by December 1st. That's pretty well every college. But these endowed scholarships, 500 here, 1,000 here, but it's all free money. And normally they contact you by email, and you might get it. You might find out in July, here's another $1,000. Couple things to remember. Those merit scholarships and those endowed scholarships, you have to be going to their college. You can't take the SEMO Copper Dome scholarship to Mizzou. Other scholarships such as Kiwanis or Coca-Cola or any of those, you can take to any college you want to go to. The next step is save. Save money. If you can work a part-time job, if you can work in the summer, if you can work in the summer while you're in high school and put back anything, every little bit helps. It could pay for your books, or it could pay for your parking sticker, or it's going to pay for something. Do your parents have savings that they have saved? Do they have a college fund for you? And most of all, talk to your parents. Sit down, have a conversation. Mom and Dad, I'm looking at college. What are your plans as far as the cost of college? Do you intend to help me? Is this something I need to do on my own? Do you have any scholars or loan or savings? Are you willing to take a parent loan? Have those conversations early. It's important. Have those conversations early. And next, loans. Again, fill out the FAFSA to qualify for student loans. The maximum federal student loan you're going to get is $5,500 per year. So you're talking at $6,450 from federal, $2,000 from Missouri, $5,000 per year student loans. That is the maximum, absolute maximum amount of money that you are going to be given to you through the federal and state government. A lot of schools, that's not going to pay for it. So where is the rest of the money going to come from? So if you're awarded a subsidized student loan from the federal government, that means that the federal government is going to pay all your interest until 6 months after you leave college. 6 months. That's your grace period to find a job. Federal unsubsidized loans means your interest is going to accumulate while you're in college. So you take a $5,000 loan out as a freshman, you graduate from college, and you're going to owe, maybe $5,500. Plus, it's going to start getting interest there. So The first one to accept is a subsidized loan, because that's going to be the cheapest for you. And any kind of federal student loan is going to have lower interest than anything else. Even if you pay interest, the interest is going to be lower. Parent loans. And keep in mind, federal parent loans do not require your parents to pay them off. They're called parent loans, but technically they are your loans. Again, talk to your parents. And then there's personal loans. These are the ones where you go to the bank and they check your credit rating and find out if you qualify for the loans, and the loan payments are going to start immediately and the interest is going to be higher. So that's where you're at with loans. So just a wrap up. The FAFSA is going to ask for all the financial information for you and your parents. It will ask how many kids are in the household, and who is your parent. If you are from any situation other than a traditional family, I live at home with mom and dad, or I live at home with mom, it's just always been me and mom, then you need to Google who is my parent for FAFSA. And it gives you a really cool flow chart that you can see if your parents have been divorced or a parent has been remarried, who do you live with, those kinds of things. And sometimes you aren't going to be happy with the answer of which parent you have to claim. Grandparents are not considered parents for FAFSA, as well as if you are being raised by an older sibling, if you're in foster care, none of those are considered parents. So if they're not considered parents, you don't have to list their financials. But paying for college should be only a part of your college decision. Apply to colleges. I encourage 3: a dream plan, a backup plan, and I think I would fit well here plan. And then when all the money, award letters come in, the award letters come from the college and they tell you how much money they think you qualify for. Planning can avoid a huge college debt. College cost, make sure the cost justifies the salary of your career. Are you going to Mizzou and paying $25,000 a year while you're going to go into a career that only pays $20,000 a year? That just doesn't make sense. Also, every college has a financial aid department. So if that financial aid department, go find them, ask them questions. You can even ask them, hey, do you know where there's any more money? You can do that. So I'm going to go back to my original slide in case anybody's wanting to get that QR code from there. And like I said, I work at Cape Central. I should have put my email address on here. But this is a very, very fast introduction to paying for college. So take what I've showed you and ask for help when you need it. And I hope you have a great district convention, even though it's a little weird this year. Bye.